Now, though we froze for technical difficulty, did we just time it perfectly with a dyno?
Back into business. Okay, back in business.
Amazing.
Thank you.
It's a blessing and a curse with technology.
Yeah.
I can't live without it, but then things like this kind of come with that.
I just want to point out that at the peak we were at 33. That's the over.
Yeah. Shout out to the one homie that immediately back onto the new stream. Sorry for the minor little technical. Just kind of run through people what they missed. Grace, who I'm sure we'll see in a bit, she made that red boulder number 1 look very easy. Very, very easy. Grace is going to have a good round today. Zoe unfortunately didn't finish that attempt that she got frozen on.
Yeah. And now we see Robert Heslop straining across.
Now, the interesting thing that's going to be with this boulder, though we know it is the beginner boulder, something we haven't actually pointed out yet is shoe selection. The shoes he's wearing is going to be a very soft shoe. So we'll see on some other boulders when he's kind of standing on those volumes where he can really drop his heels. It's going to work well.
Good catch from Owen.
Perfect, Owen. But with those soft shoes come the smaller feet that you really have to stand on. That foot is going to flex a lot more, which necessarily isn't a good thing all the time. Come on, Owen.
Getting the swing through, and this.
I'm curious.
There's an option. Oh dear,
I'm curious if he's going to pull through.
Yeah. Push to the Gaston.
Yes.
He is.
Oh.
And that is the risk you take. He looks at the clock on the way. See Jessica Verlander here, reading right up in the.
Come on, Jess. Oh.
She's right up on boulder 2.
That handhold, that giant thing she was holding. I know everyone's probably looking at this going, there's no.
I mean, heel hooks are hard.
Yes.
He's tall enough to keep it. Just got to get the balance right.
Come on, Owen. Oh,
Owen.
Goodness, Owen.
Gas in the tank might be an issue.
Yeah.
He's gonna walk. I was gonna say, is he picking
Yeah.
up his chalk bag to chalk up?
Yeah.
Or is he picking up his chalk bag to walk away? Robert Heslop, right on the second last move. Gotta extend the right leg.
So what he's gonna want right now,
the
yes,
right leg.
he wants that left foot higher. Perfect. Yeah, he's gonna really want to drive into that, get squared up, press into that top wall. Perfect.
And I heard the whistle, so I am not sure if that was under the wire or not.
Yeah, well,
my gut says no.
My gut says yes, actually. The judge was awfully smiley.
I saw Grace brushing holds before he touched the finish.
Woo!
So Grace wouldn't have turned around early.
Yep.
So that's what I'm basing
Okay, that's fair.
my feeling on. So Bren brushing hold there, and Zoe in boulder number 4. Just that's how quickly a round goes through for each individual.
Oh my
climber.
goodness! Like, I was about to say, it genuinely feels like boulder
Popping
1 was
out.
a second ago.
And just avoiding to use the feet altogether.
Showing
There
the
we go.
confidence. Zoe is from a rock climbing background as well. So to any rock climbers that may be listening, a lot of these feet, in terms of size, are ginormous.
Yeah.
So she'll be looking at the wall going, that's ain't much. So again, we've seen, perfect. That right hand is going to be the difference for the top. Gets herself stable there.
Easy breezy.
Yes.
Yeah,
Sorry, Frank.
That's the triangle there. You're almost in a slap position at that point. That's why they suddenly look so relaxed. As soon as you kind of break over to get both feet across, it's just, here I am. I can do whatever I
Yeah,
want.
it's the perfect angle change. We can just rest everything into that big giant red ball. Touch the top hold. Done. Grayson. Now, Grayson's going to be an interesting one through this round because Grayson is unbelievably strong. But not to throw him under the bus, it has almost been a downfall for some boulders where it's been a little bit of a brute force through patience. So we're going to see it here.
So the toe hook, we've seen in the toe to get the zone, but
we haven't seen the left palm to adjust the left foot. But this is going to make...
What?
So...
What?
I don't want to say that was perfect. That is a perfect example of Grayson knowing his strengths. We can see I'd even cut his shirt just to get those shoulders through it. And it worked perfectly. double palm press, made it through to the top. He's going to be happy about that one. That is that's an interesting beta. I'm even
Not as designed.
I would love to look at
Grayson.
the other setters
Yeah.
right now. I'm peeping over the wall right now to kind of look at what they're.
Grayson, not as designed. That'll do though.
But there's, again, perfect example, but a top is a top.
And risk is relative.
Yep.
So it looks risky to us to do that, to tip over and palm press on a crimp that's facing the wrong way and then do the hop and the jump in the match. But Grayson has decided in the moment that he doesn't want to do a little shimmy step. So he's going to go into what he thinks is his best positional movement pattern.
Yep.
And fair play.
Yeah,
That's a top.
And then one thing that's one of my favorite things about competitions is once the things are done their round, they are watching. They're
Yeah.
supporting their friends. And just to think of as another example is Mark. I wonder if he's going to look at that kind of beta. Come on.
And just rushing it a little bit. Don't need to. Don't need
I
to.
wonder if he's seen that other left foot hold.
Pushing him so far to the right without
there's
it.
a foot. Perfect. Yeah. So there was a foot that was kind of hidden in the shadow. But this will kind of square him up more on the wall for that last move.
But uncomfortable and doesn't like it. So you have to commit to the uncomfortable. You have to believe the heel is going to hold you, even if you don't really believe the heel is going to hold you.
Yeah. A lot of it is there's been a kind of a fun training exercise. It's just assume it's going to stay
Yeah.
and go for the move.
Go for the move.
Yeah.
You have to fall off trying to learn if it's going to stick or if you have to make a mild adjustment, a little
Yeah.
like a shift in the heel.
Yeah.
Saw Grace just sort of carrying way too much momentum
Yes.
into the transition.
What we've seen from
on
the other
time.
athletes is kind of the patience involved, especially on that green boulder.
And that's going to bring our last climber out onto boulder number 1, Dalia Farrar. So we're getting down to it. We're almost out.
Oh, dude.
That's how she
Is
goes.
this how quickly this moves?
Yeah.
Time-wise? Goodness me. Oof.
Robert just
Now, I
trying to
wonder,
find the balance.
I believe it was kind of before the stream started when we were just kind of having our little technical difficulties. But we had a few people kind of using that left big ball exactly as kind of a palm.
Yeah,
And I wonder if that first attempt he just saw the chalk, saw
yeah,
the white left over and went,
for
well, I'm going to
sure.
hold that. And you saw that hand immediately kind of just disappear through it.
Yeah, that's what everyone else is doing. I
Yes,
can do it
yeah.
too.
Well, if there's chalk there, that means the hand was there.
Oh, he
my goodness.
saves it. That left foot just
Come on.
skating
I
around.
wonder if he knows how good that hold is on the other side. So if he hits the other side, if he brings that left hand just perfectly over,
This is exciting.
come on.
This is a fight.
He is.
This is a fight. Just wrap it up.
Oh,
my-
goodness.
You see the dust come up the chalk pop as he slapped the top of that sloper.
No,
that was a really good fight.
they-
It was not great technique, but an excellent fight.
Yes. And the interesting thing, though, he actually fell on the side of that hold where he's going to see how good it is. I'm sure he's going to just be kicking himself going, I should have just brought that
Yeah.
hand a little bit lower.
Do the walk around
Yeah.
first. Often brushing holds is what's going to show you how good the holds are. He's back up. Dalia on the corner of your screen.
Dahlia.
Yeah, that is a barn door to the extreme.
Yeah.
More
So-
than 180.
To kind of describe a barn door to people that's listening maybe not know is when that same arm, same leg are kind of working together, depending the speed of it or how fast you're doing it. If they're not patient enough, those forces are going to equal out and just immediately swing you off the wall like you're opening a giant door. Oh my God!
Oh, Robert rushed it and that foot slipped. Oh my goodness.
He's
Yeah, you
been
turn
battling.
yourself into a door.
Yes.
Your anchor
Yeah.
points are the hinges and you wind up. That was so
Robert
close.
has been absolutely uproar
Just sort of like,
with this boulder.
yeah,
Yeah, you can see the look on his face too. He knows it.
yeah, rushing feet. He skated them out a little bit and just lost.
Yeah, look at him. He's still grinning from that last
I love
attempt.
it. That's good. That's the attitude we want. That's why we do this. That's why we have a beginner category, right?
Yes.
It's because allow people to compete at a grade level that's appropriate, and they still have to follow the rules of competition,
Oh.
right? You got to manage your attempts. You got to manage your kind of anxiety. You got to manage not rushing through a boulder.
Yes. And
So although that boulder might seem easy, it's not easy to Robert.
Yeah.
And he is putting in a battle.
And well, the interesting thing with Robert is
Now you're trying to go splits. Yeah.
He does. Robert's that one attempt, his first attempt, before he knew how good that left side of that hold was, he's
Yeah.
actually turned out quite well. And now that it's interesting, now that he knows how comfy that is, it seems to almost be harder for him
Yeah.
in a sense. And I wonder if that's just part of the first attempt of let me try hard. I want to do this my first try.
Yeah, the adrenaline squeeze
Yes.
is real. So
Come
here
on,
now,
Robert.
gotta trust his foot a little bit.
Yes.
And
He's
then
going to be looking for a little bit of.
the lack of patience. The lack of patience will
I
do
know.
him in.
I wonder if that was clock involved.
Oh, yeah, there was time. There was time.
Yeah.
Alan Carreras here.
Ooh, interesting that he was looking to match that first hand that his left hand starting on.
On the struggle bus.
I'm actually curious if he can pause enough on that and get that left hand on there. I'm wondering if this will work for him.
Gassed.
Yeah. We're going to be sitting there for the rest of the night
gassed.
for sure on that last boulder when you're like, did I go too hard a little bit on
Yeah.
1 through 3? And man, I'm hoping he's talking to himself in his head to give it one more because just curious at beta wise.
No,
That
that's
actually
clock.
might
That's
look-
the time. I mean, yeah, it was enough
Yeah.
to kind of slow down, but not enough to get up.
Yeah.
It's such a weird balance. Like sometimes you think, oh, if I could just stick and be in control at all times, but regenerating momentum, especially when the holds are bad,
Yeah.
can be much, much worse than kind of just driving through them and just sort of touch and go.
Yep.
It's counterintuitive if you're not super experienced in movement patterns like that. You wouldn't want to go as slow and carefully as possible.
Well, and one thing we actually haven't talked about, I think I quickly mentioned that boulder in particular was set by our guest setter. With new setters, especially from different places, they have a sense of movement. Their little like movement vocabulary, the movement dictionary, we can call it, is a little bit different than ours. So considering that was a boulder that's set by someone else, oh, nice, Grayson.
A
You
little,
did really well on it.
yeah, a little East Coast
Yes,
style.
yes. Shout out to the Montreal fam. Now we saw Jacob
Grayson.
and Grayson is making this.
He's bendy for a big dude.
Yeah.
He's gonna do this boulder.
Now one thing I know about Grayson, hopefully I know Grayson here, is if there's a grip, he's
squeezing it.
He's squeezing it. He's not gonna let go of that.
And I love a very super careful. So you
Yes.
see where Robert was rushing the top
Yep.
and just sort of both hands equals success.
Yep.
Grace
Nice,
took
Grace.
the time. Really nice from Grace here. Taking the time to get in the right position
Yep.
to not drop the top.
Yeah, and Grayson is doing excellent.
Yeah.
First boulder was done perfectly.
Grace got to do the right thing now. And this foothold it's not useful. It feels sort of just barely functional. Ooh, what is
Oh.
that?
Interesting that even stayed. Grace, unbelievable. Yeah, I wonder.
I wonder as well.
Yeah, I'm just thinking. I'm like, I wonder if maybe she can use that left hand hold to kind of pause off of that to get a little bit closer to the next hand where she wants to go, and then proceed to move her feet to get to that.
Brent Piper psyching himself up,
Come on, Brent.
just emptying the tank on this boulder. Yeah. I'm actually looking forward to trying that boulder.
Yes.
That boulder looks like just the right amount of timing versus position. You think, I'm not strong enough to do this boulder, but it's not really come down
No,
to
no.
strength.
It's truthfully like, though we've seen some people fall off on this move probably the most. That right hand that they're going to before they kind of do that big swing over to the black wall on the left. Truthfully, I would actually say that was the hardest part of that boulder. Is you're really letting go, and at one point that is all your weight on a single hand. Come on, Grace.
That didn't look nearly as clean as the last try. So Boulder and Ben both sort of ran their loops back to the start at the same
I
time.
was really hoping for a high five somewhere in
Yeah.
there.
I think I heard the 1 minute whistle.
Come on, Bren.
Got to generate.
Oh,
That's as good as he's done so far.
Yes. Come on,
Grace
Grace.
sort of undershot this last time.
Woo! Now, interesting thing about Grace's beta that we haven't seen is that right leg. She's actually releasing the toe and pressing off the volume with both to allow herself to generate through there.
I think maybe that high heel just pushes you way too far out. It feels secure, but isn't. But yeah, her beta in the beginning is more complex than anyone
Yeah,
we've
I'm
seen.
hoping
It's a
we'll
lot
cut-
going on.
I'm hoping we'll cut to it for just one more. Yeah, right into frame.
I feel like she was unsuccessful
Okay,
that time.
yeah, that might have been a little too fast.
Yeah,
But
that's great.
come on, Bren.
And Piper with
Oof.
time is.
Yeah, we can see the energy just kind of slowly dropping. I'm sure he knows as well. Yeah.
I mean, maximum respect for trying the first move for 4 minutes,
Yes.
and not just sort of saying,
Yes.
throw the hands up and have a sit down. You're like, no, I'm going to empty the tank.
Yep.
I'm going to take it down to zero. It's great.
Well, and it's going to be interesting because I think what comes to that is the level of confidence. So Brent might come back in a few days to retry this boulder.
Yeah.
Especially now that he knows the beta. He's gonna be like, if I was a little bit fresher,
Yeah.
that move could have been a lot easier.
Robert Heslop.
And one thing I've been loving about Robert climbing, there we go, is his beta decisions have been, let's say, interesting.
Unique, perhaps?
Yes.
Yeah. Driven by... Oh, my
Yeah,
goodness.
I was going to be looking.
Get the finish right. No, don't go
Come
left.
on.
Okay,
Oh,
there we
perfect.
go. I thought he
Yeah.
was winding up.
Now,
These molars are... Oh, no!
oh, so that is the
No!
we're looking for the controlled.
Oh,
an
that is
example.
not control. That's like sliding by the whole way.
One good thing about that attempt, just to bring it back up before we started talking about this last boulder, is he did use that zone hold
Yep.
for a moment to establish. So the judges will be marking, yes, he did use the zone. I know he used it, dropped down, and then ended up skipping it,
But he did use
but he did use that zone. So when we're looking at those scorecards in the end, that
It's gonna
could
matter.
that
Last
could
zone.
be a make or break.
Yeah.
I'm interested
All right.
now to see if he will do it again, or if he's just going to go back to, let me just skip this.
Oh my goodness.
Oh no!
Oh my goodness.
Come on, Robert. Yeah.
Oh, the left foot sliding out.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, inside the pocket feels insecure. Top of the pocket feels insecure. You've got to choose your poison here.
And immediately back and forth. No
Yeah.
chalk, no brush.
No, it's amazing. That right foot skating down the volume.
Yeah, I'm hoping he takes some time.
Yeah, take a breath.
before- But
Jessica going
Yeah.
facing in
Facing in.
and managing to stay.
Yeah.
And you see, you kind of get pushed kind of too far back.
Yep.
You feel like you're arching away. The holds are getting worse instead of better.
well, and we're playing this game of the thing that's keeping you all there is just full tension. I'm pushing as hard into that hold. Obviously, it's not going to go anywhere. We're just putting more weight into my feet. What's the middle between those two, unfortunately, is a curved spine because she is facing in. So that's why it's going to make that move a lot harder than facing out. But the downside of facing out is I eventually have to get myself back facing in
Yeah.
to those next holds going to the top.
And it's not obvious to everybody that turning all the way around on a boulder is the right thing to do. It's so rare. It's less rare in competition. But we set a boulder. There was a V2 on the slab about a month ago that was really hard if you didn't face out.
Yep.
But to test beginner climbers by asking them to do something that feels really uncomfortable, that's how we teach movement.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And sometimes it's a lesson you don't want to learn. And Jessica is getting the wrong side of that lesson
Yes.
right now. Right now, she just thinks that this boulder is really hard to keep attention.
Yeah.
And she's going to go talk to someone like, how did you do boulder before? And they're going to say, I faced out, and she's going to kick herself in the shins.
for sure. And then here we go. So she's getting in a pretty good position. Yes.
Oh, gets it out.
Well, so
Excellent.
I really think the difference there is that though the left hand necessarily wasn't at the best spot what it looked like on camera to kind of generate that tension, it allowed her to get closer through there on that left foot and reach to that jug. Now we've
Oh my
seen this
goodness.
time and time perfect. We've seen
Yeah.
it time and time again. Climbers are kind of rushing to that left hand.
And she gets it done.
Perfect.
And I feel like the clock is winding down on her as well. I heard the 1 minute whistle. I feel that that's like right in the
It sounds like she has a full
Absolute
cheering squad
fan.
too. Yeah.
squad there, just screaming out Dahlia, kind of hanging on the ball. Oh, that's a good,
Oh.
almost a good save. And she is taking the shoes off. That is time. Or is that the 1 minute?
I wonder if maybe it's. Let me just see if I can read that. I believe it was 1 minute. I wonder if she just kind of wants a softer shoe. But
No, we're moving on. That was time.
Okay, yeah, that was time. Okay, I was gonna say that was unbelievable strength to just kind of hold that, keep that swing,
Yeah.
but
And come back
unfortunately
in.
it just didn't work. Come on,
Grace and Grayson climbing
Yeah.
together. Oh,
Oh, interesting.
I like that.
Yep.
I don't love it, but I like it.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, the positive of this, I have both hands here. I'm gonna feel a lot more comfy. The downside of that is we're kind of adding a move to the boulder.
Grayson, pretty smooth.
Grayson, yeah.
Is he gonna go?
I wonder if he'll even use that
3
left hand.
for
No.
3 and just finds the balance. No problem. When you can squeeze, you squeeze.
Yes, and man, Grayson is making light work of this boulder because we've seen before time and time again. It's taken a few attempts,
Yeah.
For
There's
a lot
been
of
some
these-
people on the struggle bus.
and Grayson's making this look quite easy.
Grace getting that
There we
wind up.
go.
Really good catch.
So the kind of what we were mentioning earlier is, though she was going two hands for the first time and adding a move, it felt comfy, but it was making it harder. This time she just committed to the right left, skipping that hand movement, and now it's working out for her. Come on, Grace.
She has excellent footwork, so she will be happily in control through the top of this, I would imagine.
Yeah, as good as Grace is with bouldering, you really see that forward shine with her lead climbing. Come on, Grace.
Yeah, just
Unbelievable.
careful smear. When you can smearing confidently is something that I recommend. Really good
Beautiful.
stuff from Grace.
Yeah, good.
If
Nice
you're-
smile for the camera.
If you're a newer climber, I recommend embracing smearing.
Yes.
It can be something that's very hard to trust. It's scary.
Yes.
Do it low down.
Yep.
Find boulders that have volumes low down. Smear, because having the trust in smearing allows you to create feet where there are no feet.
Exactly.
You can make better positions for yourself. And I think that's Grace boulder's done. So this is what happens in competitions as we wind the clock out to the end of the field. Is there's no rock climbing.
Yeah, there's less climbers.
So you
and-
get us.
Yes. Yeah.
You get us.
Unfortunately.
And there is lots of technical growth you can have through climbing. Some of the things that are often under Robert just appearing in frame that can be undersold is the decision to smear, because a lot of easier boulders in commercial sets don't require you to smear.
Yeah.
There's always going to be a foothold to do the move,
Yeah.
but you can choose to go do a boulder, go find that V3, that V4 that you love,
Yep.
and pick a move and do it with a smear.
Yes.
And just introduce the idea that you can manage positions
Yep.
by trusting your $200 footwear and a little bit of texture on the walls.
Well, and what could it can evolve into the point of you'll just start looking at the wall, going, "That's my foothold." A good example of this, now that we're on Boulder 4, if anyone kind of remembers of Zoe's attempt, was there's a moment there she was just smearing up that blue wall, even though we see those 3 red triangles. Which are they good? No. Are they better than the wall? Yes. But
She's a shorter climber,
Yep.
and they were a longer reach, so her power position was
the smear, yeah. And luckily for Zoe, she has that confidence. You'll definitely see a lot more smearing confidence, let's say, especially in rock climbers. The rock climbers, we're playing 2 games. It's a foothold the size of a penny, or we're just blasting our foot onto the side of the wall and we're hoping it stays.
yeah. There's nothing.
Yes. Yeah.
We're just saying this is now my foothold.
Yeah.
You are now my foothold.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, depending the style of the rock or even the boulder, that can go far, very far. To give some credit to an amazing coach and podcast with Chris Hampton and Power Company.
I thought you were.
Oh, sorry.
I
Petey.
thought I was going to go in a different
Yeah,
direction.
maybe
I mean, Chris Hampton. That's a good.
Give him
that's-
credit.
that's
And
awesome.
he is a firm believer that there should be more volume smearing boulders simply for how well it translates to rock.
Yeah, agreed. And more volume spring boulders testing kind of lower grade climbs.
Yeah.
Introducing it sooner.
Okay, so we have Robert
Robert's-
also doing the face in beta.
I mean,
Now, the interesting with Robert, though, he is a taller climber than we've seen. Oh,
immediately
back
face
on.
out. I love it.
Dude, and so one thing I was going to mention with the facing in beta is due to his height, and this is going to be
Yeah.
easier, is it actually looked like he would have been able to just kind of pop to this hold.
Mhm.
The good thing is, though, is he's going to
Dolly his arms across the frame.
But,
Excellent
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, Robert he wastes absolutely no time.
Yeah, I would like him to see him carefully. This you can't rush the last
Oh.
hold on this is just there as a target.
Yes.
So you need to be in balance to match.
I wonder
What
if
is happening?
can he fully.
No, you are not gonna go.
Are we facing out for the
He's
top?
gonna face out for the
top.
Robert Heslop starts the boulder backwards,
Oh.
climbs it all the way around, and finishes the boulder backwards.
Goodness, I
love
wish he
that we
started
saw that.
into out. I wish he did the complete opposite.
Complete opposite
Oh,
of the entire
would have
boulder.
been beautiful.
Robert Heslop, come back and watch
Yeah.
this live stream.
No.
That was a moment.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. That was
Yeah.
excellent stuff.
Now Talia is the lucky girl that's all eyes on her currently. She's currently the
Yeah.
only one on the wall.
Yeah, the pressure here now when you know that everyone's sort of entertain me.
Yes. Yep. We've seen
We've
the
seen
top.
this done.
We know how to do it.
We know it
so
can
do
be done. Yep.
Yes.
We're cheering for you, but entertain us. It can be a pressure situation even for an open level climber.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, and you can kind of see she kind of had like a quick turnaround before running into this first move, and that's going to be the moment you just see the full crowd of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's me.
Yes. Come on, Dahlia.
I've been in the. She just needs to there's tension decisions here to be made.
This is a perfect time. Interesting.
Low feet. I mean, it's when a volume is that big,
Yeah.
you can step anywhere.
Then it really comes down to the question: do I want to step everywhere on this?
Yeah.
Because the climbers that we have seen going through kind of this boulder, just committing for that next hold,
Yeah.
using that momentum through it to the zone hold, that one with the orange tape attached to it.
But not necessarily teeing it up
Yeah.
with the best decision down low. So that's close. Feet, the farther away you are from the wall on a volume like that, it's going to feel better initially. But you see, she's just having trouble generating the right amount of upward momentum.
Yeah.
And it's a hard boulder.
Yes,
Absolutely, 100%.
Yes.
It's a hard
Yeah.
boulder, but there's a right way to do moves like this, and she's just on the cusp of it.
And yeah, unfortunately for Dolly, the person we saw climb this before was Grayson, and made it look so much easier than this boulder actually is.
And Grace, I mean, they're both in open.
Yeah.
Grace, I think, just probably has a lot more experience.
Yes.
Overall,
Yes.
has been competing as a youth climber forever.
Yeah. And
I love she's gonna take her right down to the wire. It's
and
not a physically demanding boulder.
one thing
and that's zone.
I'm loving that she's kind of experimenting with this right arm. Is I think she's slowly learning that kind of moving the feet isn't working for her.
Yeah.
So it looks like, I don't want to speak for her per se, but what it looks like she's trying to give a little bit of that right arm as the momentum to pull her through to the next hold.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we haven't seen it work yet, but I like where her head's at, that she's kind of using that.
Yeah. And when you're trying to move your feet quickly, it can feel like you're absolutely skating.
Yeah.
It's maybe the worst feeling is having to move quickly across a volume and generate a ton of upward momentum.
Now, this
Really,
boulder is
really
going to be very interesting because I believe Grayson, though obviously hasn't done them.
Is he gonna flash her? Is he gonna flash it? Come on now.
So this is Jonah's training partner.
Is he gonna
And we
flash
saw Jonah's the only one
Just
that's
say it.
No.
I think he's gonna flash it.
No. And then, so just kind of quickly go through what he was going for. That was almost close to the intended beta. Using the momentum from that first holder jumping to, what the setters were looking for was actually a left hand into that ceiling. If he makes this right hand work, the match that he's going to have to pull off to get through to the next hold, because that next hold is a quote unquote right hand hold.
Yeah.
So by him kind of sacrificing the right hand now, it might be a little bit hard later.
Oh, he's gonna try and
Oh.
see him lining the toe up
Yeah.
to go back and
Yeah.
stick it.
I would love if the setters were here right now,
Plan
because
B.
this
Yeah.
was the last boulder we were tweaking, our final tweak, and
Made it quite a bit harder.
in particular, it was the start hold. Because that was the one thing we were worried about, is anyone with unbelievable core tension, or some of our taller athletes, there is a chance that they could pause on that. But now with that,
And it's hard to read a boulder like this in 4 minutes. So going left hand, that if we see him try it, you'll see how kind of uncomfortable
Yes.
the position is,
Yes.
but it works the best.
Yep.
And reading difficult, complex movement is something that you need to be able to do very, very quickly. And sometimes it just doesn't unlock itself. You'll see maybe one finalist will do the right thing.
Yep.
Sometimes you see them all do it and fit. Like, we have that whole spectrum, and what you have is Grayson getting close enough with the right hand.
Grayson. There we go. So that was perfect. So he
Yeah.
was going for hopefully just to quickly catch that
Yeah.
hold. Now the interesting thing
Stalled
is,
it long enough to
Yes.
maybe think it was worth doing again.
yes, yeah, and come on, Grayson.
He's gonna have to
I-
do the match.
I know. Yeah. Oh, we got a little bit of a power scream through there.
Yeah, this
Um,
match is so gross.
I'm gonna. Yeah. So when the setters were going through this, we made that hold substantially worse.
yeah,
First one, yeah, here we go. We're asking for a little
Get the
from the
people
crowd.
behind him.
Yeah. But the move out of that, Grayson definitely can do kind of a kind of heinous quick match. But Chris, the setter who set this boulder, he actually kind of intended like almost like a mini 360 out of this move
yeah.
to readjust yourself to the hold.
It looks good when he does it that way.
Yeah.
We're not going to see anyone else read that.
No,
That's
no.
sort of the root setter's intuition. Is, hey,
Yeah.
this works.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just a shade too complex
Yeah.
for 4 minutes. Grayson's going to rest here. I think that's the 1 minute whistle that we
Yeah.
just heard. And he got close enough that he's definitely going to go that again. The
Yeah.
match is still
Come on,
going to be
Grayson.
hard. A little extra squeeze. Oh, it's quite difficult.
Yeah. Now I know Grayson has some left in the tank. Those first 3 boulders, fortunately for him, have been done so quickly
Yeah.
that he can use this energy on this last one. Oh,
And you see he's catching it on the way, almost on the way down. He needs
Yeah.
to be catching it just on the way up. It's subtle, but it matters right
Come on,
here.
oh,
And then the extension. I love it.
yeah.
I love it. He's just going to
Yeah.
keep trying.
This is a perfect example where we're talking about how much gas do I have in the tank? All of it? Let's use it. We get to rest tomorrow.
Oh, I was
Perfect,
just going to
Grayson.
say that bounce was almost perfect.
Yeah.
Be careful
Yes.
now. He rushed it. Gotta get your feet set. Gotta get your
Yeah,
feet
so
set.
what-
Looks at the clock.
Come on, Grayson.
Last try
Come on, Grayson. For the crowd. This is what they
for
want.
the crowd.
Oh.
Not quite.
So now, if we're talking
Woo.
results, we have an interesting kind of series ahead of us
It's
for
gonna
the
be
Open.
attempts for sure.
Yeah, because I believe off the top of my head, every Open male that is currently hunting for that podium spot, all are at 3 tops.
Yeah, it'll come down to attempts. The scores.
Yeah.
We'll have the results for you later. We
Yeah.
got a kind of a halfway score
Yeah.
from one of our people
All-stars.
here. But the results will get posted pretty quick. We have now Dahlia Ferrar is going to go our last climber
Yeah.
of the Triple Threat Finals on the Winter Series. If you've been hanging out, thanks for hanging out. P Woods here with Jordan.
Woo.
We are experimenting
Yep.
with this live stream,
And it's been an absolute
and it's
pleasure.
been fantastic.
Yeah.
I hope you've enjoyed what we've been able to.
Oh.
Oh my!
Yeah, she knew that last boulder, all eyes on her. Let's make it a little showy. Let's get the crowd going.
That was really good catch.
Yeah.
Flashing
Come on,
boulders
dog.
is always going to feel good if you can.
Ooh, an under.
Undercling,
Yeah, so
and then open up.
yeah,
to the
there we go. So
smear.
then now she kind of just readjusted herself. Those feet seem comfortable. Interesting that
Deep drop step, high foot. So that's new, and I like new. And a
with
little
the drop knee to
knee.
finish.
A little bit of
Unbelievable.
style to take us home from
Yeah.
Dahlia Ferrar.
Unbelievable.
Excellent stuff. Thanks for hanging out with us, Jordan. Thanks for hanging out with me. That was a
Dude,
good
that
time.
was absolutely unbelievable. I had so much fun. Technical difficulties aside, this was one of the best days of my life. This was sick. I'm so stoked we got to do this together.
I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I would say we'll see you again.
Yeah.
I hope to see you back
Yes,
online
100%,
sometime.
100%. Those results will be posted through our Instagram. So hopefully you're following us on Instagram. As you can imagine, it's going to take us a little bit, just kind of run through those scores, put them in the computer, let them kind of do the math. But if you are following our socials, you will see kind of how everyone ended up. But yeah, thank you so much for everyone kind of tuning in. This was unbelievable.
And the boulders will be up for probably about a month.
Yep.
So if you climb here,
Sorry, I'm going to interrupt Pete. It will not. And I'm going to plug a quick thing. Boulder is celebrating their birthday party for 7 years in 2 weeks. So they'll actually be up here for 2 weeks. And then if you guys quickly remember when the camera panned about this whole wall is changing in 2 weeks. Every single one of these boulders.
okay, so you got 2 weeks.
You got
to
2
come in and
weeks.
try
Yeah.
these boulders. We're probably going to be doing them. You might see some of the people come back and
Yes,
retry
which
them
is
as the
very,
clock runs
very
out.
common. I'm really hoping, obviously those will be off stream, but I'm hoping Mark, we're going to come back to this red boulder. Now that you
Yeah.
saw Grayson make that toe hook palm press work on this first boulder,
Yeah.
I know Mark's
He
going to
might
be
come out
trying
and
that,
try it.
especially because of his height. It might actually be a little bit more comfortable for him. But nonetheless,
Thanks for hanging out with us. That is the Triple Threat Series final. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
thank you guys. Thank you.